Today, we are diving into a problem that, let's be honest, a lot of us have. How do you make a small space feel anything but small? We're going to get into the science of it, the real engineering behind creating a home that feels open, airy, and way bigger than its actual square footage. So, does this look familiar? You're standing in your living room, you look around, and it just feels, well, cramped, right? You love your home, of course, but you just wish there was a little more room to breathe. It's a super common feeling, but believe it or not, the answer isn't always to move or knock down walls. That's right. The solution is smarter science. We're going to approach this whole thing like an engineer, not just a decorator. Think of this explainer as a design problem with a scientific solution. If you get the numbers, the light, and the layout right, you can literally change how a space feels. So, first things first, let's get into the science of perception. We're going to treat every single wall as a tool that can move light around your home and turn those dark, forgotten corners into bright, open areas. Okay, the one technical term you absolutely need to know is light reflectance value, or LRV. You can actually find this number on pretty much every can of paint. Just think of it as a scale from 0 to 100. 0 is pure black, it just eats light, while 100 is pure white, reflecting it all back. So, to make a small space feel open, your magic number is an LRV above 60. And wow, just look at the difference here. On one side, you have a dark navy blue with an LRV of about 10. It literally swallows the light in the room, making the walls feel like they're closing in on you. But on the other side, you've got a cool white with a super high LRV of 85. It acts like a light multiplier, bouncing brightness from wall to wall and making the room feel huge. And it's not just about brightness, it's also about temperature. Warm colors, your reds, your oranges, they're called advancing colors. They feel like they're leaning in for a friendly hug, which is cozy, but it makes a space feel smaller. Cool colors, on the other hand, like light blues and soft grays, are receding. They do the opposite. They create this amazing optical illusion that the walls are actually further away than they are. Okay, and here is a pro-level tip. Some people call it color drenching. If you paint the walls, the trim, and even the ceiling the same light, high LRV color, you get rid of all the visual breaks. Your eye has no line to stop on, so it just glides across the surfaces. It totally tricks your brain into seeing one seamless, continuous, and much, much larger space. All right, so we've engineered the light. Now let's engineer the actual objects in the room. This is all about scale and proportion, managing the visual weight of your furniture to make a room feel calm and orderly instead of chaotic. The biggest mistake people make in a small space is thinking small furniture is the answer. But in reality, a whole bunch of tiny little pieces just creates what designers call visual noise. It makes the room feel cluttered, messy, and pretty soon your floor turns into an obstacle course you have to navigate every single day. And this right here is the solution. One large, well-chosen piece gives your eye a single calm place to rest. It makes the space feel intentional and, honestly, kind of grand. It's all about the ratio of furniture to open floor space. Trust me, fewer, larger pieces almost always wins. Here's another key concept for you. Use what we'll call lithe furniture. Basically, these are pieces with thin, exposed legs. Why does this work? Well, when you can see the floor continuing underneath your sofa or your coffee table, your brain subconsciously registers the full floor plan. It's such a simple trick, but it creates a powerful sense of airiness and space. Okay, time for a hard number. Get out a tape measure for this one. For your main traffic paths, the walkways you use to get around a room, you have to maintain at least 36 inches of clear space. Think of it as your no-squeeze zone. If you have to turn sideways to get past something, the room is always going to feel trapped, no matter how good it looks. I absolutely love this next one for its brilliant simplicity. It's called the cantaloupe rule, for all those little decor items. If it's smaller than a cantaloupe, it's probably just adding to the visual clutter. So instead of like 20 tiny trinkets that make a shelf look like a souvenir shop, go for one large, beautiful vase. All right, we've managed the floor plan. Now it's time to look up. When you run out of horizontal space, the next frontier is always vertical. Drawing the eye upward is an incredibly powerful way to make an entire room feel taller and just grander. And here is one of the most effective and most affordable tricks in the entire book. Don't hang your curtain rod right on top of the window frame. No. Mount it high, just a few inches below the ceiling, and extend it wide, past the frame on both sides. Then make sure those curtains fall all the way to the floor. This trick dramatically frames the window, making it look massive and making your ceilings feel incredibly high. Now, for our final section, we are diving into the pure art of illusion. This is all about manipulating what the eye sees using strategic layouts and, of course, the clever use of mirrors. The key idea here is the sight line. Think about it. When you walk in your front door, what do you see? If you can engineer a clear, unobstructed view all the way to a window at the back of the house, the entire space is going to feel longer and more open instantly. Don't let a bulky piece of furniture block that visual highway. And of course, we have to talk about mirrors. They're the absolute cheapest way to add square footage to a room. If you place a large mirror opposite a window, you're not just doubling the light and the view, you're creating what designers call perceived depth. It's like opening a portal to another room, making your brain believe there's more space than there actually is. So, after all this engineering and all this design science, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it really boils down to a fundamental shift in how you think about your space. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? You don't have to be a victim of your square footage. With these principles, you can actively outsmart the limitations of your floor plan and create a space that feels just right for you. Ultimately, a small home that's built with precision and care, it's like a finely crafted watch. It's not about the size, it's about the elegance of how it works. When you have less space, the focus shifts from just sheer quantity to the intelligence and the quality of the design itself. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. By applying these principles of light, scale, and illusion, you really can unlock the hidden potential that's already inside your walls. So, is your home engineered to feel as big, as bright, and as welcoming as it possibly can be? The power to change that perception is entirely in your hands.